Chair Mejia,
Here.
Vice Chair Sun,
Here.
Secretary Treasurer Yorbe,
Here.
Director Almeida,
Here.
Director Angeles,
Present.
Director Kemp, Director Rawlings.
Just barely.
We have a quorum.
Great. Thank you so much. Now Elizabeth Brown will present the June 2025's Employees of the Month.
Good afternoon, Chair Mejia, members of the board, Mr. McDonald, and all others assembled here today. I am Elizabeth Brown, Executive Director and Vice President of Organizational Development and Administration. In support of LBT's strategic priority of fostering employee engagement, it is my pleasure to announce the Employees of the Month for June 2025. The Employees of the Month for June 2025 are Patrick Manzi, Myron Trimble, and Emily Payne. Operator Patrick Manzi has been with LBT for 6 years, and this is his second Employee of the Month. He is currently assigned to LBT 1 and demonstrates exceptional service to our customers. His strong work ethic is reflected in his outstanding performance metrics, including consistently arriving and departing on time and perfect attendance. His attention to detail and punctuality contribute to his reliability. Operator Manzi sets a strong example for his peers through his professionalism and dedication. His consistent excellence makes him a standout member of the LBT team. Mechanic Myron Trimble has been with LBT for 9 years, and this is his second Employee of the Month nomination. He was also Employee of the Year in 2022. His peers and supervisors highly praise him for his leadership, reliability, and positive attitude. Assigned to LBT2, he consistently supports the swing shift crew, takes on lead duties, and offers guidance to fellow mechanics with professionalism and respect. Myron's technical expertise and willingness to help others make him a valued mentor within the team. He is proactive, detail-oriented, and critical in maintaining fleet readiness and team coordination. His work ethic and ability to uplift those around him is a testament to his dedication. Emily Payne serves as our Geographic Information Systems, GIS, and Intelligent Transportation Systems, ITS, planner. This is her first Employee of the Month nomination. She joined LBT as a service planning intern in December 2023 and was promoted to a full-time GIS, ITS, transit planner in July 2024. She exemplifies LBT's mission and values through her strong work ethic, collaborative spirit, and innovative mindset. Emily quickly stepped up to support data compliance and analysis and has since led efforts to streamline workflows, automated dashboards, and validate annual ridership for key service changes. Her use of automation has improved efficiency, supported budget planning, and strengthened fiscal accountability. She has also contributed beyond her core role, providing support to multiple departments with a focus on our customers. As a dedicated transit advocate, she actively represents LBT at community events and industry conferences. It is my pleasure to now present these valuable members of the Long Beach Transit team via video.
My name is Myron Trimble. I've been here at Long Beach Transit for 8.5 years, and I'm a lead mechanic. I like working here because the people here are very nice to work with. Nobody pushes you real hard. Just do come in, do what you're supposed to be on time, do what you're supposed to do, and make it a good day. I'm proud to be Mechanic of the Month, that they look at me toward for that. And anything I can do around here to help out, I'm there for 'em.
Hi, I'm Emily Pang. I'm a GIS ITS transit planner at LBT for about a year now. There are many things I like about working at LBT. One of them is as a transit rider, it is very fulfilling to work at a transit agency, and it's very rewarding to see the improvements we make for each service change. Another is, of course, the people at LBT. They're all great, especially our service planning team. I feel incredibly honored to be Employee of the Month. Thank you to the ELT for the recognition. This means incredibly a lot to me as someone who is in the beginning of their career.
Thank you to all of the employees of the month for being dedicated to connecting communities, moving people, making everyday life better.
Thank you so much and congratulations. Are there any public comments? I would like to remind you, if you haven't done so already, you need to submit a speaker card with the board secretary. Right. Seeing none. All right, thank you so much. And then now I'm gonna pass it on to, oh, we have more public comment. All right. Item 4, public comment. Is there any public comment?
Yes, Chair, we have public comment.
Okay.
First up, Elliot Gonzalez.
Thank you. Good afternoon, board members. I have 2 items I wanted to talk about. One is just the location. I love that the agenda posts nearby bus stops, but all buses go to downtown Long Beach, right? Most of the buses go to downtown Long Beach. So to me, it would make sense to have the transit, um, you know, operations from the center of the city. So just in planning, I just think it's a good consideration where you can access the public better, because of course all buses, most buses go there. The main thing I wanted to talk about though was ICE on the bus. So there was recently a memo from this agency directing our hardworking bus drivers who, I think most bus drivers are, overworked and underpaid just in general in America. Most workers in America in modern era. Um, and so they were told that, well, let's say in the idea that ICE wants to board a bus, we'll just let them. Because 6 months ago, we let the worst person that we could possibly elect become the president. So as a stance of cowardice, we made a policy, well, we're just going to let ICE onto the bus, go round up somebody, and then move on to the next bus stop as if that's normal. Folks, I just want us to recognize, and I know my time is running out, but in this country, we have a history of civic resistance. That's how we got this wonderful multicultural city, is when people had the courage to stand up again for what's right. And I would hope that Long Beach Transit adopts a policy that demonstrates courage, that says that we don't allow any commotion on any bus, that we respect the bus driver, and that all problems that are happening happen outside of the bus. That the only thing that needs to happen on a bus is people sitting in their seats and waiting to get off at the stop. It is not a place to detain people. It is not a place to handle federal government business. It is simply to move riders from one place to the other. This is a public serving agency, and we need to protect the public at all times, not traumatize people by saying mom or dad or uncle or whoever get kidnapped from a bus because of some person becoming the president who has no business being the president. So I would like this agency to adopt a courage-based policy, which says that the bus driver controls what happens on the bus. The bus driver decides who can get on and off the bus. And if there is any rider who gets onto their bus and creates any commotion, including detaining somebody, they need to take that outside of the bus. And that is the role at every bus stop on every bus station throughout the city. And I hope that we don't move away from that and submit to ICE. Thank you.
Thank you, Elliot. Is there any additional public comment?
Yes. Next, David Hall.
Okay, thank you. My name's Dave Hall. I live at 1047 Chestnut Avenue, and to the chair and members of the other directors on the board. I live at 1047 Chestnut, Long Beach, 90813, and I am a bus driver. I am a bus passenger. I have the life program. I'm retired. I'm a retired English as a second language teacher at Santa Ana College and Long Beach School for Adults. I was kind of taken aback when I saw a post that here in Long Beach, California, Long Beach transit authorities have ordered transit drivers to not block federal law enforcement from boarding buses who are in the search of undocumented immigrants. LA Metro has done the same in the last 2 days. A bus driver told me yesterday that what started this was that a bus driver posted a TikTok video that went viral, showing the driver not allowing ICE onto his bus, and transit officials issued these orders as a result. Whether intentional or not, transit officials are welcoming ICE and Homeland Security onto buses in their search for the undocumented, and to be truthful, even citizens they would deem as threats. Thank you for your time.
Great, thank you. Is there any additional public comment?
Yes, James Neutral.
This is about bus procurement, and I'm kind of unaware of everything that's going on, but it's a little bit of an out of the box suggestion. As I have said in the past to the board, a five-year bus plan seldom work out. With the reality of projected reduced federal funding used to go to all electric, likely I would suggest and believe that LBT1 can support a 40 CNG bus fleet. Easiest turnkey fueling can be done at the Long Beach Gas Company Clean Energy Yard on Junipero with a backup option at LBT2. The other option would be to remove one bus wash and install a medium-sized CNG compound at LBT1. When originally studying the concept of having a CNG plant at LBT1, it was found that the gas service would not support an entire fleet, but it may support a limited fleet. There are usable natural gas lines in place that go almost all the way to the fuel island already. CNG bus maintenance on these additional buses can still be done at the LBT2 yard by scheduling 5 buses for maintenance and 35 in service. The CNG buses would need to be staggered fueled to ensure that the CNG compound would match the demand for fueling. The cost savings of CNG buses versus electric buses would offset any labor cost involved in fueling off-site or installing a CNG compound at LBT1. The buses can be rotated to LBT2 when the oldest current bus fleet CNG fuel tanks become uncertified starting in about 2031, only 6 years from now. This would reduce the cost of the immediate fleet modernization by Long Beach Transit, still be within some of the reduced pollution goals, and buy some more time to make LBT1 a totally clean energy bus fleet. Again, please take this as an out-of-the-box suggestion from an uninformed but devoted legacy employee at Long Beach Transit.
Thank you so much. Is there any additional public comment? Well, I just want to, first off, I usually don't comment, but I just feel that the urge and the need to comment on the previous comments that were said. I think our communities are living in fear. They're literally being kidnapped, right? They're being kidnapped on bus stops. We saw that in Pasadena. We saw the ridership plummet because of it. So I think that the memo that was sent out, everybody has rights, and there's trainings that we could have done for our employees so they can know their rights. So I apologize, one, for that memo, and that it has caused fear. I've seen businesses like, watch out, Long Beach Transit is allowing eyes, which is not true. But we don't have a policy, and that's the reality. So I think we have a lot of work cut out for us as we see Metro and Supervisor Han working on that, how we can work collaboratively in that policy. So I just want to say thank you for your comments. And Ken, I don't know if you have anything to say about that. All right. No additional comments, right? All right. Moving on, I'm gonna pass this to.
Madam Chair, did you want to open up for other board members to share comments if they like?
Sure.
Not that I necessarily want to, but there might be others.
I will open it up.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to say something very simple to the speakers. I want you to know that I heard you and the board members here heard you. We are aware of what has been going on. There have been some discussions among just the board members, just on the side about what's going on. And I too listened to the Metro board meeting today, and I listened to the committee meeting last Thursday. So it's something that I think all agencies are dealing with. And I just want you to know that you've been heard. Thank you.
Great. Seeing none. All right. Moving on. Moving on to, I'm gonna pass it down to my vice chair, David Sutton.
Thank you, Chair Mejia. Well, we're going to honor another employee, not just for the month, but for the year. And it won't take you too long to guess who this is, but I'm honored to share that our very own CEO, Kenneth McDonald, has been selected by the American Public Transportation Association, rather. And this is a peer transit agency for the nation. So all of the transit agencies are involved in this group. This group also helps us get money with Washington. So I just wanted to preface that as the recipient of this year's Outstanding Executive Officer Award. This national honor recognizes exceptional leadership, innovation, and strong commitment to advancing public transit. Ken's dedication to Long Beach Transit and the broader industry has been remarkable, and this award is well deserved. The award will be formally presented at the APTA Transform Conference in Boston later this year in September. And on behalf of the board, congratulations to Ken on this achievement, and thank you for your continued leadership and service to our agency and the communities we serve.
Great. Thank you so much. Moving on to our item number 5, Kenneth McDonald will present the President and CEO report.
Good afternoon, Chair Mejia, members of the board, and all who assembled here today. I am Kenneth McDonald, President and CEO at Long Beach Transit. My monthly agency report will highlight some of our accomplishments and ongoing activities centered around our strategic priorities. LBT's strategic priorities are improve safety and service quality, exercise financial accountability, foster employee engagement, enhance customer experience, and promote community and industry focus. In the month of May, Human Resources launched LBT's first ever employee walking challenge as part of the ongoing wellness program. 163 employees from across the organization participated in this challenge. Together, employees logged about 32 million steps, equivalent to 16,241 miles. An impressive 43 employees surpassed the challenge goal of 280,000 steps in just 1 month, demonstrating strong enthusiasm and commitment to personal wellness. More than just a fitness milestone, the challenge reflects LBT's dedication to building a culture of health, connection, and engagement. By encouraging healthy habits and fostering cross-departmental camaraderie, Initiatives like this help strengthen our workforce, improve retention, and support the whole employee, not just the role they serve at LBT. To celebrate the success of LBT's inaugural Employees Walking Challenge, the following video was created featuring the top 3 participants who went above and beyond in reaching their steps goal.
My name is Derek Rowland, Safety Manager with Long Beach Transit, and I've been on board now for 5 months. Okay, so during the challenge, I was walking and then I wrapped that up and went into jogging. Also mixed in some cycling, skateboarding, and also swimming. And I would kind of mix those activities up every day. Even on the weekends, I would at least have some type of activity. So what I saw or what I experienced from this challenge is it really brought about engagement. Within the employees, there's a lot of talking, a lot of back and forth, everybody checking in on one another, making sure and kind of the accountability aspect as well. So kind of held everybody accountable and encouraged everyone to live a healthier and a more active lifestyle.
My name is Victor Munguia. I'm a bus driver here in LBT. I've been driving for 8 years. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of strength training and doing a lot of steps. Before the competition, I was doing 14 to 17,000 steps. And since then, I started doing over 20. I've been coming to the fitness room ever since then and adding to my steps and my workout. I have a portable weight machine in my car and I work out in the parking lot also. What it means to me is that it gave me a new purpose to come in and work. I was very inspired to come in and to come to the fitness room and work out, and it kind of helped out throughout the day. It kept me awake, and yeah, it was very challenging, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot.
Hello, my name is Vicky Gallo. I'm the Service Planning Analyst, and I have been with Long Beach Transit 33 years. Activities that got me to 3rd place in this challenge include daily walks, gym workouts, and what put me on the map was my current trip to Mexico City, where I had to walk everywhere. Some of the benefits to having this type of challenges include motivation and encouragement. It reminds us that we need to get out there and push ourselves to walk every day.
Thanks to all who have participated, and we look forward to moving. Some of those need to be turned off. Okay. Are we ready now? Still echoing now. On June 11th, LBT hosted a summer employee appreciation event to recognize and celebrate the hard work and dedication of our employees. The event created a fun, tropical themed atmosphere where employees could connect with colleagues and enjoy food, music, and games. LBT leadership attended the event to personally thank team members for their continued commitment to providing excellent services to the community served. Activities and giveaways help boost morale and reinforce the sense of unity and appreciation across all departments. On June 6th, LBT Deputy CEO Kimberly Yu, Manager of Communication and Marketing Aranza Chavarria, and Manager of Government Relations Marisol Barajas attended the ribbon cutting ceremony at the new LAX Metro Transit Center. The event celebrated the opening of a major regional transit hub that will improve connection between local transit agencies, metro rail lines, and Los Angeles International Airport, with the opening of the automated people mover, which is slated to happen in 2026. The new transit center also strengthens future events access by creating a seamless link between Long Beach and key destinations like SoFi Stadium, an important connection ahead of the 2026 FIFA World Cup and the LA 26 Olympic and Paralympic Games. LBT's participation highlighted our dedication to fostering regional partnership and supporting initiatives that enhance connectivity and access to transit riders. On May 8th, 2025, myself, along with the government relations manager and capital programs manager, participated at CTA Legislative Day in Sacramento. The event allowed engagement with state legislators and key staff to advocate for continued investment in public transit, sustainable infrastructure, capital project funding, and long-term transit funding. Legislative Day is provided or provides a valuable community and opportunity to share LBT's priorities and highlights the impact of state support on delivering reliable, clean, and accessible transit services to the Long Beach community. On May 18th to 20th, the Deputy CEO, Government Relations, Capital Programs, and myself participated in the APTA Legislative Conference in Washington, D.C. The conference provides a national forum to engage with federal lawmakers, transit agencies, and industry leaders on policies impacting public transportation. LBT delegation met with members of Congress and key federal agencies to advocate for sustained funding, regulatory flexibility, and support for capital infrastructure investments. The team also attended sessions on the future of federal funding programs and moving cities during mega sporting events, and building support for greater public transportation. I also like to recognize our government relations team led by Marisol Barras and successfully organizing LBT's first ever local legislative summit held on June 25th. This important event brought together our local, state, and federal legislative partners and their staff for focused and collaborative discussion on the work we are doing at LBT. It was an opportunity for us to speak directly to those who shape the policy and funding landscape. The summit was designed specifically with local legislative staff in mind, providing them with a tailored overview of LBT's strategic goals, capital initiatives, and policy priorities. It offered valuable context on how to work with us and how we align with broader regional and state transportation objectives, as well as the real-world impact it has on our community. I want to point out that the core content presented at the summit was initially shared with our board of directors on the February meeting 2025. This summit simply translates the information into a format that is relevant and actionable for local legislative offices and their teams, ensuring alignment, transparency, and coordination with Long Beach Transit. I am proud to share that Long Beach Transit has been awarded the 2025 Annual Achievement for Excellence in Procurement Award by the National Procurement Institute. This national honor recognizes organizations that lead the way in procurement through innovation, professionalism, efficiency, leadership, and the use of technology. In 2025, across North America, 216 organizations received this distinction, including just 8 transit districts. This award is a testament to our procurement team and their dedication to excellence, transparency, and continuous improvement to the service of our community. On June 12, 2025, Long Beach Transit received the Bus Transit Project of the Year Award at the 36th Annual California Transportation Foundation Award Gala in Irvine, California. The award highlights LBT's rollout of the 5 battery electric commuter coaches on its UCLA Westwood Commuter Express route, demonstrating ongoing innovation in sustainable public transit. The route improves regional mobility between Long Beach and Westwood, easing congestion along the I-405. The project was made possible through partnership with UCLA, the Long Beach Airport, and state funding on the Greenhouse Gas Reduction Fund. In the agency's effort to promote community and industry focus, staff has participated in various community events this month. The community relation teams continue to present older adults with different programs LBT has to offer them, including the reduced fare senior tap card and the life program. As part of Smith Elementary School Career Day, the team spoke with kindergartners and fourth graders, highlighting the range of career opportunities at LBT and answering their thoughtful questions. On Sunday, June 8th, the team joined the California Conference of Quality and Justice Love Day event in celebration of Pride Month and inclusivity, connecting with attendees and providing information about LBT services. And finally, earlier this week, on June 24th and 25th, TransPro held the 2025 TransDash Performance Summit in Greensboro, North Carolina, a national event focused on redefining transit success through outcome-based metrics. LBT's financial analyst Irma Pamplona and performance analyst Carly Wade represented the agency at the summit. The summit brought together transit professionals from across the country to explore how transit agencies can measure and communicate their values beyond ridership, focusing on areas like customer satisfaction, community impact, and operational effectiveness. During the summit, TransPro featured a video spotlighting LBT's innovative performance approach. The video showcased how LBT is leading the way in tracking outcomes that matter, such as Net Promoter Score, customer satisfaction and safety, and their relevance to the community. We will now display the video that was shown and will be shown across the nation about Long Beach Transit.
Hi, I'm Dr. James Rubin, and it's time for another edition of TransDash News. Today, we're in Southern California, and we're going to focus on the value Long Beach Transit brings to its customers, community, and stakeholders. Among TransDash agencies, Long Beach Transit was recognized for 3 achievements last year: increase in ridership over 5 years, increase in job connectivity, and the best service effectiveness, which we measure in trips per mile. Long Beach Transit regularly surveys their customers to find out what's most important to them and how they're doing. By focusing on what matters most to customers, Long Beach Transit ensures that efforts to improve customer experience are more likely to succeed.
We are focused on connecting communities. That's part of our vision and mission statement, is that moving people, connecting communities, making everyday life better.
Based on their most recent survey results from this past fall, satisfaction with key attributes is driving Long Beach Transit's exceptionally high overall customer satisfaction rate. 75% of customers are satisfied with on-time performance and bus cleanliness. 85% of customers are satisfied with travel time, and 65% of customers say they feel safe or very safe when using Long Beach Transit buses. 87% of Long Beach Transit customers are satisfied with the service, and nearly half report that they're very satisfied. On a scale of -100 to +100, Long Beach Transit's Net Promoter Score is a 50, meaning customers are very likely to recommend service to their friends and family.
%80 of our customers make less than $50,000 a year. About 71% rely solely on Long Beach Transit to get to and fro. 65% of those people use the bus to either go to work or to go to school. So we know who our customers are.
79% of Long Beach residents live within a 10-minute walk of a bus stop. It's a great system that connects every corner of this city. And Long Beach Transit is in the early stages of planning for the 2028 Summer Olympic Games. From sailing at Belmont Shore to the triathlon at Alamitos Beach to water polo at the convention center, Long Beach Transit will be there to move athletes and spectators.
We started looking at what is our impact to the community that we serve. And we hired the economic department at the Long Beach State University, talked about a vision that we have of trying to understand what's the impact of our organization. As we speak, we're embarking on our second evaluation 5 or 6 years later about looking at our continued impact on the community that we serve.
You know, when people think of public transit, the first thing they think of is the service that's delivered to the residents, workers, and so on who use bus service and other types of services. So that's very visible. But what we often don't think about is the fact that this is also a significant employer in the city and in the region. And not only is that the case, but in addition, Long Beach Transit buys things from local suppliers. So you've got the supply chain effect that's happening, and you put those two together, and the spending that comes from the employees of Long Beach Transit as well as their partners in the supply chain, and you have a ripple effect through the economy.
A lot of the additional business that's come in, those products have been purchased from local manufacturers and vendors. And so that money has stayed locally from our additional revenue and then in turn going over to them.
In our previous economic impact study we did for Long Beach Transit, we saw that for every $100 that Long Beach Transit injects into the economy, be it paying their workers or buying supplies, that would generate about $225 worth of economic output. Or we call this multiplier effect. In that case, the multiplier would be 2.25, right? For every dollar spent by Long Beach Transit, it generates $2.25 worth of economic activity. And we could do the same kind of a metric for jobs. For every 100 people that Long Beach Transit employs, we saw that it would generate about 178 jobs in California. Or put differently, every 100 people who work at Long Beach Transit supports another 78 people throughout the economy.
Long Beach Transit isn't just moving people. It's fueling the local economy and creating opportunities. And that impact extends beyond dollars and jobs. By listening to what riders value most and delivering on those priorities, Long Beach Transit has built a system rooted in trust, access, and satisfaction. To sum things up, Long Beach Transit customers are super satisfied, Long Beach Transit connects people to the places they need to go, and Long Beach Transit is a vital component of and contributor to the local economy. That concludes this episode of TransDash News. We'd like to thank our hosts, Long Beach Transit, and congratulate their staff on customer, community, and stakeholder achievements. Until next time, I'm Dr. James Rubin, and I'll see you on the bus, or on the train, or on the boat.
That concludes my report. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Ken. Are there any public comment? Seeing none, is there any discussion from the board? Director Darren Orvin?
Thank you, Chair. And thank you for the report and congratulations on the accolades for you and the agency. Congratulations on that TransDash presentation as well. I just wanted to acknowledge that LBT was also at Juneteenth, thanks to colleague Carl Kemp. And we were also at the Pride Parade in June. I think it's great that we can celebrate two communities that as LBT continues its mission of connecting people and communities. Last, I want to thank the staff for all their work in getting us together at the parade. I just want to share a thought about banquets in general. It's great the agency is celebrated and that we share our successes. However, I believe it would be a meaningful gesture to invite representatives from our unionized workforce to share these successes as our honored guests. I have always said that the workforce is the backbone of our daily operations, including team members only reinforces our agency's values of respect and partnership, and I believe will demonstrate our appreciation. I hope we can continue to have this conversation and have that consideration in mind as we move forward. Thank you.
Any Director Kemp?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I also want to echo Raul's acknowledgement of staff, and thank you for all that you do in the community and in my day job. I'm doing the same work that you all are doing. You know, wrangle folks and get them enthusiastic about being in a parade, and it's always great to see you all out there, and the energy from our employees and the folks who come out from LBT is always authentic, and it's always contagious. So I just want to congratulate Mike Gold and thank all the employees who come out to the events to bring that energy to the community. Second, I want to echo the recommendation that employees be invited to share in some of these seats that we get for events. I think it's not only a benefit to the employees who get to have that experience, but I think it's a benefit to the organization for those employees to be seen and experienced in the same way we get to see and experience them on a monthly basis. Maybe we select we invite the employees of the month every year, because I know that's my favorite part of this meeting, is seeing the men and women who do the work and carry the torch and represent the brand with the people who matter and keep us going. So I think it's a fantastic idea. I think it'll be a great morale boost. And if there's a motion somewhere along the line at the appropriate time for the agenda, I'd be happy to support it. And congratulations on all the accolades, Ken.
Is there any board comments? Seeing none, I do want to point out, super excited. I had the great honor to go to Irvine to get be present for the award, but also want to acknowledge that ATU got an award as well. So it was great to see our brothers and sisters from ATU there being recognized for their work. So thank you for all you do. All right, no more comments. Okie dokie. Going on to consent calendar. All matters included on the consent calendar are now considered routine by LBT Board of Directors and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a member of the Board of Directors or the public, in which event the matter shall be removed from the consent calendar and considered as a separate item. Do I hear a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Perfect. All right, we'll call for a vote.
Chair Mejia,
Aye.
I'm sorry, Madam Chair, just a point of order is, sorry.
Yes.
We have to offer discussion on the.
Oh,
second. Not that there would be any, but we have to offer it.
Yes, discussion. All right. See none, we'll go to a call for vote.
Chair Mejia,
Aye.
Vice Chair Sen,
I'll abstain since I wasn't here in May.
Secretary Treasurer Yorbe,
Aye.
Director Almeida,
Aye.
Director Angeles,
Aye.
Director Kemp,
Aye.
Director Rawlings.
Aye.
Great, thank you. The motion carries. The consent calendar is now approved. And moving on to agenda item 7th, monthly financial report presented by Lisa Patton.
Good afternoon, Chair Mejia, Mr. McDonald, board members, and to everybody assembled here today. My name is Lisa Patton, and I'm the Executive Director and Vice President of Finance and Budget. And I'm before you today to present the monthly financial report for the period of July 1, 2024 through May 31st, 2025. So we are 11/12ths of the way through the year. The focus of the report is going to be comparing the actual revenues to expenses and comparing them to the budget. Also, we'll highlight some of the decisions, the strategic decisions the CEO and I have made in light of the uncertainty of federal funding. The statement of revenue gives us a broad view of how much LBT has earned and how much LBT has spent during the fiscal year. At the top of the report is the operating revenue section, and this is what LBT has earned from transit operations. Year to date, we can see that all categories are trending favorably above budget, with the exception of the new contract for advertising revenue. In terms of fare revenue, we are seeing an increase in tap card usage. In particular, adult tap fares are running particularly strong. The LIFE program is also uses tap and has showed continued strong participation. Special events have been trending above budget this year, and that's thanks to the Galaxy Express service. The month of May also included the Renaissance High School Olympic project and the Long Beach Mayor's Office Youth Day. In the middle of the page is the subsidy revenue. Subsidy revenue is Long Beach Transit's largest revenue source. In light of the uncertainty at the federal level this year, the CEO and I made the strategic decision to accelerate LBT's use of federal funds to mitigate any future potential impacts. Strategically, we chose to draw the funding this fiscal year to offset current operational costs. This is not an overall increase in revenue, it's just a timing decision. As you can see from the report, federal subsidy revenue stands at 143% of the year-to-date budget. This decision helped to ensure stability and preserve funding options for future periods. In terms of local subsidies, sales tax revenues have been running below the fiscal year 25 revenue projections and are at 93% of budget. Looking at the summary of operating expenses, you can see that transit operations are stable. The budget is well aligned with actual service delivery, and we see control spending across departments and strong alignment with LBT's budget. The schedule of expenses is a detailed breakdown of how funds are spent across different departments. The top section evaluates operational costs and workforce stability, two critical components of service reliability. Operator wages remain stable and well managed by our transit service delivery team. Fleet maintenance labor costs are running above budget and are being addressed with new mechanics and training. Under services, we see an increase in contract maintenance. Expenses in the month of May included repairs to the underground storage tanks. Employment physicals are running above budget, which is a reflection of LBT's increased hiring and long-term labor strategy. This page shows how LBT is responding to external pressures such as cost inflation and supply chain volatility while maintaining operational effectiveness. Under material and supplies, fuel expenses are under budget thanks to favorable pricing and proactive procurement. Inflation in parts is being mitigated by locking in prices and strategically managing inventory. Under miscellaneous expenses, you will see LBT's investment in training. The month of May included a transit service delivery scheduling workshop, a procurement performance results training, and achieving customer excellence training. Overall, total operating expenses for the month of May are tracking closely with budget, reflecting disciplined cost management while continuing to invest in frontline operations, staffing, and essential infrastructure. The balance sheet gives us a point-in-time snapshot of LBT's financial position. It speaks to LBT's financial stability, funding management, and capital stability. Under assets, LBT continues to maintain reserves, which are key to sustaining operations. Under receivables, we're seeing increases at the federal level, the county level, and the local level. while for the month of May, we saw state receivables decline. This slide reflects LBT's long-term stability through proactive liability management and strategic capital investment. Trade payables decreased due to the payment of outstanding contract invoices, including Long Beach PD. Payroll liabilities rose due to timing of healthcare invoices and accrual cycles, which is expected in a manageable shift. Pension obligations are substantial and are improving thanks to strong returns and sound management. Capital investment in May included $466,000, which was aimed at replacing the ERP and the asset management systems, replacing the guard shacks, and renovating the fitness centers. So overall, Long Beach Transit remains on solid financial footing as we approach fiscal year end. LBT is outperforming operating revenue targets, managing costs effectively, and maintaining reserves to support future operations. Thank you. That completes my report.
Thank you, Lisa. Are there any comments from the public? Seeing none. Is there any board discussion? Yes, Director Kemp?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to say thanks. Lisa, your reports are always exciting. You make numbers sound so much fun. And also want to applaud you and Ken's strategic decision to draw down money ahead of some of the unpredictable things that might be happening back in Washington.
Any other discussion? I have a question. Regarding the federal funding that you decided to, is there other federal funding that you foresee that you guys need to spend now as well? Or is it just the one that you just mentioned?
So the last of the ARPA funding, the American Rescue Plan Act funds, we will draw down in the first quarter of our new fiscal year. So we won't, instead of spreading it out over 12 months for the year, we will draw it down in the first quarter.
Right. Is there any other from the board? Seeing none. Thank you, Lisa. And now Lisa again will present agenda item 8.
I hope my mom's listening. Okay, so good afternoon, Chairman Hia, members of the board, Mr. McDonald, and all those who are assembled here today. My name is Lisa Patton, and I'm the Executive Director and Vice President of Finance and Budget. I am before you today to request the board's authorization to award a contract with Colliers International for property management services at 4801 Airport Plaza Drive. Through this contract, LBT is investing in the ongoing management and stewardship of LBT's corporate offices, ensuring the facility continues to operate safely, effectively, and in support of both agency needs and tenant expectations. By way of background, LBT acquired the Airport Plaza building we are currently in 2020. The building houses LBT's administrative offices, the Rosa Parks board chambers, tenant occupied spaces, and space open for leasing. Since that time, LBT has utilized a third-party property management firm to maintain and operate the building. With the current contract nearing expiration, staff conducted a thorough review of LBT needs, capacity, and options moving forward. In alignment with LBT's procurement policy, the purchasing department issued a competitive request for proposal. 7 proposals were received, which were carefully evaluated based on firm qualifications, personnel experience, work plan, and cost. Colliers earned the highest total score, offering the strongest value and demonstrating the expertise LBT needs across operations, tenant administration and support, and capital project delivery. Colliers brings an experienced local team. In addition to day-to-day oversight by an experienced on-site manager, Colliers provides a cross-functional team that includes senior advisors in building systems, capital planning, and lease compliance. This team structure enables LBT to benefit from broad expertise while maintaining flexibility to scale services as needs evolve. Collier's service model includes 24/7 tenant support, proactive risk management, and cloud-based reporting tools to support transparency and accountability. Colliers will provide full-service property management, including day-to-day building operations and engineering, lease management and tenant relations, security, financial reporting, sustainability support, and emergency preparedness and continuity planning. In addition, Colliers will act as LBT's owner representative for capital projects. This includes providing technical oversight, ensuring compliance with building codes, managing project schedules, and ensuring that work aligns with lease requirements. Their involvement will help safeguard LBT's investments and support successful project delivery. Today, staff is requesting LBT's board of directors to authorize the president and CEO to execute a contract with Colliers International for property management services at the corporate office building located at 4801 Airport Plaza Drive. The proposed contract includes a 3-year base term and 2 optional 1-year extensions. The total base and optional term value is $1.48 million. A 10% contingency at a cost of $104,800 has been estimated for future needs. The operating costs will be budgeted for in future fiscal years. The fiscal year 26 operating budget did not entirely account for the costs, and the costs will be absorbed in the rest of the facility's budget. In addition, $300,000 in capital-related expenses has been estimated for owner's representative services over the contract term. These capital-related costs are budgeted and will continue to be included in future capital improvement budgets for a total contract authorization not to exceed $1,923,632. This completes my report. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Lisa. Do I hear a motion to approve the recommendation?
So moved.
All right, is there a second? Perfect. Is there any public comment on this item? All right, seeing none. Any further discussion from the board? Director, sorry.
Thank you, Director. Just a quick point of clarification. When you say absorbed, can you be a little bit more specific about what our plans are for managing that, since it sounds like it's coming in a little over budget?
Sure. So you'd think the people that budget and write the scope of work, which are the same people, which is me, would have caught that there's going to be an overlap. We'll have both teams working in the month of August. So that'll be about a 7.8% increase, difference in that contract than what I budgeted. And so it is absorbable by controlling costs within the year.
No, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Thanks, Lisa. 2 questions. Under the DBE, SBE participation, towards the end of the sentence, due to the limited availability. The language concerns me, and I don't know if it concerns staff or Ken, but it's not specific. And I'm just wondering, is that something that would be challenged if we were audited because we're not specifying the reasons? In other recommendations and other meetings, there's actually examples of what you guys have done to demonstrate that limited availability or no other choice, but there's nothing here on that. Does that concern us?
Let me address 2 things. One is that, so working with Colliers and working with our property managers, right? So they have a wide network of subcontractors. And so we emphasize local, using local subcontractors, using SBEs. This is local money, so it's not federal. So it's small businesses. And we also reference accessing the DBE database. So, so know that that is important to us also. In terms of the language in this, because it is local funding, this is small business, in reviewing the data provided from our Office of Civil Rights, I don't believe there were any small businesses that are in this business that can handle this level. We can confirm that, but I think the number was 0.
I appreciate that, but I'm just, my question is more general. To me, it's vague, and I'm just wondering, should we put examples of why it's limited availability? Don't we do that in other proposals? Like outreach, no one answered our emails. No one works in the area that we want to work. They're too far away. We provide examples why should we be, I mean, I'm not concerned about it, but I'm just bringing that up in case it's a concern to the agency if we get audited or we're challenged.
I would say that the answer to that is that we look at with the meet with the regular compliance office at the NAICS code and look at who is available. So I don't think that we would be concerned. That's the reason there's a limited availability. That's where we do all our references is from the NAICS code. So that's standard for every project that we have. How do we end up with the participant who can do the job and not do the job? We go to the NAICS code.
Okay,
So
I'm
it's
comfortable
the
as long as,
same approach we use for all
Okay.
contracts.
thank you. And my second question and last question is, in the final recommendation, the 300,000 for owners representative services, that's a high number. And it concerns me because there's no clarification about, what does that contingency cover? Is it like as needed services? Is it they met a benchmark? What?
So that is not a contingency. That's our capital planning expenses, the 300,000. The contingency is 104,000.
Then I'm sorry, then I'll rephrase my question. What is the 300,000? Is it,
It is for capital programs so we determine during the year, we have estimated a certain amount of capital work that we do. That would not be operating dollars that we could, and we control that. This is not controlled by the folks that are doing the work for us. We would say that we want to upgrade some part of the elevators or something that is capital, then Long Beach Transit decides when and where or how we would do.
okay,
But they would be the people that we would go to come up with the cost estimate and stuff like that for us if we're gonna do capital things.
okay. I think maybe it's just the way that the sentence is worded. It's like 10% contingency of 147 and 300,000. Maybe 10% contingency of 147, 603, and for owners representative services, 300,000.
Yep.
That's where I got confused. So
So in the contract
you
term, we had
want to
it
consider
very,
that.
yeah, we would, because in the contract term, it's spread it out very clearly. But then when we put it in I think what you pointed out, when we put it in the closing, we did not separate them the way we did in the contract term. So make sure in the future we do that. If it's capital and operating, we will make sure that, because it is done in the document, but not in the resolution.
Is there any additional discussion from the board? All right, being on, you can call for a vote.
Chair Mejia,
Aye.
Vice Chair Sun.
Aye.
Secretary Treasurer Yorbe,
Aye.
Director Almeida.
Aye.
Director Angeles,
Aye.
Director Kemp.
Aye.
Director Rawlings.
Aye.
The motion carries a recommendation to authorize President and CEO to enter into 3-year base term contract with Funds International for property management services at the corporate office building located at 4801 Airport Plaza Drive at the cost of $858,575 with a 2-year option at $304,040 hold on. $304,032 for option year 1 and $313,422 for option year 2 with a 10% contingency of $147,603 and $3,300 for owners representative services for a total contract authorization not to exceed $1,923,632 is approved. Thank you so much, Lisa. And now Jim Scott will present agenda item 9.
Good afternoon, Chair Mejia, members of the board, Mr. McDonald, and to all who are assembled here. My name is James Scott, and I am the Executive Director and Vice President of Maintenance and Infrastructure. I am before you today to request the board to authorize the President and CEO to enter into a contract with AECOM for architectural and engineering design services for the Phase 4 electrification infrastructure project. Long Beach Transit, LBT,
has been a leader in reducing greenhouse gas emissions and air pollutants through its energy conservation efforts and its operation of alternatively fueled vehicles. LBT's operating fleet is 100% alternatively fueled and has committed to only purchasing zero-emission buses, ZEBs, from 2020 onward. LBT received its first order of 10 battery electric buses, BEBs, in October of 2016. The agency worked with Southern California Edison, SCE, to install a dedicated substation for this electrification project. And 10 BEB chargers were installed and fully operational by August of 2017. In November of 2019, LBT purchased its second order of 14 BEBs. Planning for the charging infrastructure began in 2020 and construction was completed in 2021, adding 14 additional BEB chargers. In March of 2021, LBT purchased its third order of 20 BEBs. Infrastructure and planning commenced in 2021 to add an additional 20 chargers, and construction was completed in 2023. 1 year later, in March 2022, LBT purchased 5 BEB commuter buses to provide ZEB UCLA commuter service and the Museum Express. On July 25th, 2024, the board approved the purchase of 30 additional BEBs. Staff is planning a final phase of electrification infrastructure that will provide all power and chargers needed for both the current and future BEB expansion up to 125 buses. The infrastructure will include a second SCE substation, an overhead BEB charging system, a photovoltaic solar system, and an emergency backup power source. LBT is requesting approval to hire a consultant to develop a project manual for approximately 30% of the design for the Phase 4 BEB charging infrastructure, the final phase of the electrification infrastructure project. The consultant will deliver the plans, specifications, and cost estimates necessary to upgrade the infrastructure at the existing LBT-1 facility located at 1963 East Anaheim Street, Long Beach, California. The work will lay out the foundation for a design build firm that will be selected through a future competitive procurement to complete the final design and construction. The 30% design phase is expected to be completed within 120 days after the notice to proceed is issued, with the goal of having construction complete by spring of 2028. LBT issued a request for proposal RFP to firms nationwide and received 9 qualified proposals. Proposals were technically evaluated based on the following criteria: proposal experience with similar projects, key personnel qualifications and project organization, technical solutions, work plan, references, proposal responsiveness. In compliance with the Brooks Act, cost was not considered during the initial proposal evaluation, and only the cost proposal of the highest ranked firm was open. AECOM was the highest ranked firm with 89.67 points. AECOM, with an office in Los Angeles, California, was found to be fair and reasonable by LBT's purchasing department. A disadvantaged business enterprise DBE goal of 5% was established for this solicitation. AECOM Technical Services has committed to subcontract out 7% to DS Yorman and Associates for geotechnical engineering services and 4% to Wagner Engineering and Survey for survey support, for a total DBE commitment of 11%. Staff is requesting LBT's Board of Directors to authorize the President and CEO to enter into a contract with AECOM for architect and engineering design services in the amount of $926,745, with a 15% contingency in the amount of $139,011, for a total authorization amount not to exceed $1,065,756. This concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Do I hear a motion to approve the recommendation?
Moved.
You, there's a second?
Second.
Perfect. Are there any comments from the public? No? Any discussion from the board? Yes, Director Rawlings?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for the report. This was great stuff. I saw in there, unless I read wrong, that we actually more than doubled our DPE commitment on this as well, Maycom, 5 to 11%. That's great. That's really awesome to see. I know fellow board members have expressed wanting to make that one of our top priorities, and I think we did a great job for a really important project too. When I was reading through this a couple days ago, I didn't actually realize how big of a project this really was. So for part of me, the nerd in me thinks this is really cool. I did not realize that our electric buses, the batteries are larger than about 12 Teslas, and we're about to be plugging in a lot of them. So this is like really huge work for the facility. So I did have a question about that. I know that it says we're going to need a second substation that SCE is doing. Are there any risks to them, obviously being a very large organization, potentially delaying this project down the road, or are they in lockstep with us for what we need?
They're in lockstep with us. So there is a program called the Charge Ready program where we coordinate with them on the front end and say, hey, we need to bring power in. Is this a problem? And they've already approved our application.
Fantastic. Okay, that was my main concern. Thank you.
Great. Any further discussion from the board? Yes, Director.
Thank you, Chair. Jim, thank you. I have one comment and two questions. Congrats on the DPE. Looks good. My first question is the last paragraph of the background heading. The last sentence, the 30% design phase. Can you explain to me what the 30% design phase is? Or does that refer to 30% of the project completed? What does 30 design phase mean?
Sure. So that is 30% plans of for the project. So for example, how many chargers, what type of chargers, what would be the charger layout, a 30% design of the foundation of the project. That will be put into a packet, right? We will, and then we refer to that also as bridging documents, right? Like if you're building a house, how many bedrooms does the house have? Where's the kitchen? What's the square footage of the kitchen? So that's about your 30% design. That goes into a packet. Okay. That is then put out for procurement for someone, for a construction company to bid on it. Multiple entities will bid on it. They will take that 30% plan. They will build it out to 100% and also build it. So that's the design build portion of it.
Thank you, because to me, what I thought it meant was 30% of the project, and that would be close to 1 million at that point. So that would concern me, but thank you. My second question is, in your final staff recommendation, you have 15% contingency. Isn't that high?
Yes.
And
that's higher than we normally ask for.
What's the justification?
Well, this is a pretty major project, and it's our first design build. So, we wanted to have some extra contingency money in. If we get down the road, let's say we get down the road and we actually put this out for a construction company to bid on it, they might come back and say, well, it's too bad your plans didn't say this because, we could save you a lot of money.
Got it.
So if you get further down the road where those services have been rendered, you need some extra money to actually, okay, well, maybe that's something we could look at.
Okay.
Right. So just, unknowns of that nature.
Okay. I hope you can appreciate I'm asking these questions because a lot of money, and so thank you.
I appreciate you asking the question because I moved up the money to 15% because of my concern that it's the first time we're going out as an agency for a design build. Next time we probably go at 5% because we know better now. I have no clue what's going to happen when we get out
Any other discussion from the board? Not seeing anybody? Okay, call for a vote.
Chair Mejia,
Aye.
Vice Chair Sun,
Aye.
Secretary Treasurer Yorbe,
Aye.
Director Almeida.
Aye.
Director Angeles,
Aye.
Director Kemp,
Aye.
Director Rawlings,
Aye.
Motion carries. The recommendation to authorize President CEO to enter into a contract for architect and engineering design in the amount of $926,745 with a 15% contingency in the amount of $139,011 for a total authorization amount not to exceed $1,065,756 is approved. Thank you so much. And moving on to Sergio Ortiz, who will be presenting agenda item 10.
Good afternoon, Chair Mejia, members of the board, Mr. McDonald, and to all who are assembled here today. My name is Sergio Ortiz, and I am the manager of fleet maintenance. I am before you today to request the board to authorize the president and CEO to enter a contract with Model 1 commercial vehicles for the purchase of 3 battery electric dial-lift vans. Long Beach Transit, LBT, operates a diverse revenue fleet of 255 revenue buses, 10 dial-lift vans, and 4 water vessels. LBT's dial-lift services include a fleet of 9 compressed natural gas, CNG, vehicles, and 1 battery electric van dedicated to providing accessible transportation to customers within Long Beach, Lakewood, Signal Hill, and Paramount. In an effort to improve service efficiency and reduce environmental impact, LBT conducted a pilot of 1 battery electric Ford e-Transit van to evaluate its performance within daily dial-lift operations. Building on the success of and insights gained from this pilot, staff is implementing a phased replacement of the current dial-lift fleet. The transition to electric vehicles supports LBT's sustainability goals and strategic priorities to enhance customer experience, improve safety and service quality, and exercise financial accountability. Notably, while the current CNG vehicles have capacity for 1 wheelchair customer, the new battery electric Ford e-Transit vans can accommodate 2 wheelchair customers, increasing service capacity for customers. These new vehicles will be the first replacement phase of full fleet electrification and have a 7-month lead time after notice to proceed is given to the vendor. LBT issued a request for quotes, RFQ, for the purchase of 3 Ford e-Transit electric dial-lift vans and was based on the technical specifications provided by the LBT maintenance department. Out of the proposal submitted, Model 1 commercial vehicles was determined to be the lowest responsive and responsible bidder. The LBT procurement department conducted a price analysis and found the pricing proposed by Model 1 commercial vehicles to be fair and reasonable. A disadvantaged business enterprise, DBE, goal was not established for this solicitation due to the specialized nature of the vehicles and limited availability of manufacturers. These vehicles require structural modifications that support accessibility features. Staff is requesting LBT's board of directors to authorize the president and CEO to enter into a contract with Model 1 commercial vehicles for the purchase of 3 2025 Ford e-Transit battery electric dial-lift vans at a cost of $322,011 with a 10% contingency of $32,201 for a total authorization amount not to exceed $354,212. This concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Sergio. Do I hear a motion to approve the recommendation? Okay, what was that? Oh, thank you. And for a second, okay, perfect. Is there any public comment? No, seeing none. Discussion from the board. Yes.
Thanks. I have a couple questions for you, and if you don't know the answer to the first one, I'm okay with that. Just let me know later. But what's your annual ridership on the service?
I don't.
Okay, fair enough, but let us know, okay? Because I'm very interested in that number. Also, for all of those watching today, who might be a person with disabilities, how do they take advantage of this service?
They, we have a call center that they call and request for the service to pick them up and take them to their doctor's appointments and other items.
Are there certain hours of operation?
This is the vehicle, he doesn't run the operation. So we have a dial lift department run by Shaka Gobert, who operates and connects with the community that does this. She is on the board of the committee that, or the I want to get the right word for the name of the Disability Resource Center. So that's how we connect with them on people who need that service.
Okay.
It's through
Yeah, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, Sergio, but I think these are really important things. I think these vehicles are beautiful, and I think it's about time. Uh, you know, when I was growing up, there were no services for persons with disability. You stayed home basically because you faced stairs or curbs or what have you everywhere you went. There was no transit vehicle that could accommodate you either. So this is just vital for helping our customers get to their appointments and just doing great things throughout the city. So thank you very much.
Any other discussion?
No, I was just gonna say that I'm excited for this project. I've ridden with folks who use the services and it's vital and I think the increasing the capacity from 1 to 2 is also really great in some of these vehicles that we'll be having. What's the overall increased capacity, I suppose, that we'll have with this additional these vans?
So our current van take one customer at a time. This is going to double our capacity to be able to take 2 customers at a time. And also there are people that help those folks, so they would be able to be in the van also. So it's going to double the capacity of each one of the vans.
Great, thank you.
Any additional discussion? Oh, yes, Director Harrell.
Just have a question. Thank you, Chair. Sergio, it's nice to meet you. I just have a quick question about, I see that we're going with a specific company, correct? Okay. When we purchase these vehicles, will they already be customized to what we ask for? Or will we be custom upfitting after we purchase them? Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion on that side? All right. Up for a vote.
Chair Mejia,
Aye.
Vice Chair Sun,
Aye.
Secretary Treasurer Nyorbe, Director Almeida,
Aye.
Director Angeles, Director Kemp,
Aye.
Director Rawlings.
Aye.
Great. Motion carries the recommendation to authorize President and CEO to enter into a contract with Model 1 commercial vehicles for the purchase of 2025 Ford Transit battery electric dial lift vans at the cost of $322,011 with a 10% contingency for $32,300 $201 for a total to authorize the amount not to exceed $44,212 is approved. Thank you so much. And moving on to Kim Lee, who will present agenda item 11.
Good afternoon, Chair Mejia, Mr. McDonald, members of the board, and all who are assembled here today. My name is Kim Lei, and I'm the manager for transit customer amenities at Long Beach Transit. I'm before you today to seek your approval for the owner's representative contract for the Transit Gallery Improvement Project. The Transit Gallery is located on First Street between Pine Avenue and Long Beach Boulevard in downtown Long Beach. It serves as the hub for LBT's major routes, and other local and regional transit agencies also stop here. The Transit Gallery consists of 8 bus shelter bays labeled A to H and is next to the Transit and Visitor Information Center, or TVIC. The primary goal of the Transit Gallery Improvement Project is to improve digital wayfinding at the Transit Gallery. This project will include new digital signage, new customer information systems, shelter lighting, and structural upgrades. The scope of the project requires the expert services of an owner's representative to oversee the work of an architectural and engineering firm that would fully develop a final package of design improvements. The owner's representative will act as the project manager and represent LBT's interests throughout the duration of the project, including managing the architect and day-to-day project through construction and through closeout of the design phase. There would be an option for the owner's representative to stay on through the construction phase and to provide construction support services. The Transit Gallery Improvement Project is anticipated to take approximately 2 years from design through construction completion. So it's anticipated to complete in August 2027. So Long Beach Transit is able to contract with the LaFleur Group through California Multiple Award Schedule Agreement, or CMAS. LBT's purchasing department has determined that the price is fair and reasonable and determine adequate competition under the LaFleur Group's competitive state contract. The LaFleur Group was established in 2002 as a full-service consulting firm. They support transit agencies with compliance, project, and program management. For this contract, a DBE SBA goal was not established due to the CMAS agreement. However, the LaFleur Group is a 100% certified firm in accordance with FDA guidelines, and they will perform 100% of the work for this contract. So staff is requesting LBT's board of directors to authorize the president and CEO to enter into a contract with the LaFleur Group for the amount of $192,554, with the option to extend for construction support services of $95,934, with a 10% contingency of $28,849, for a total authorization amount not to exceed $317,337. And that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Kim. Do I hear a motion to approve the recommendation? Perfect. Are there any public comments? Seeing none. Or discussion?
So this is actually just for the construction management side on the owner's part, correct? And so we haven't gotten really to the point of the design or selecting anybody that says ready. The only comment that I would share with you and staff is that's going to be a critical component, I think, particularly for the Olympics, that, you know, at some point maybe we can have some input as a board to try to give some of our ideas. Just as an example, is like I think the digitization of the boards, I think we're still on that old school using paper bit on the boards. And so everything that I've seen in terms of, at least I'm in the aviation world, so I think of airports. And so when you look at airports and the kind of evolution that it's had, I just would love to have the opportunity to have some input on the modernization of that area.
Any other discussion? Oh, yes, and then Jane.
Who's first? No, my question I think is for. Hello? Oh, there's an echo. My question is for Ken. I think for Ken, how does this fit into the pedestrian improvement project that I know the city's public works team? Is this going to happen before, after, or what kind of about that?
This is mostly for wayfinding. If you notice that our shelters there, if you're not close to the shelter, you don't know which bus stops there. So this is really, and to answer part of your, we started with a company that does design for airports to give us the concept for what we're going in here. So we took a lot of what we were trying to do here from airports. So the intent is that they would now come up with, when you are standing in the transit mall, you can decide or see some display of which bus to go, just like you do at the airport. How do you know which gate you have to go to? So that is what drove that. And it came from me struggling down there. I went down one day and the bus I was waiting on left me because I wasn't quite sure which shelter to go to. Time I got to the shelter, the bus was going in there, and I decided we need to do something better for people who, if someone is new, how do they know that? I knew the system, and I still struggled with it. So that's the intent of this: is we want to do it before the Olympics. So that's why we're trying to get it done by sometime in 2027. I hope that answered your question. Okay.
Director Sutton and then Director.
Thanks. I just encourage you and your staff to go out to the LAX Transit Center. It's, if you haven't seen it already, you should. They have bus bays there with digital information, and that's the state of the art today. It certainly won't be when you finalize this project. So, just to tag on to board comments here, and you know, Ken's experience, that we're going to have a lot of people coming into Long Beach, many of which will not be able to speak English, and they'll need some kind of interactive capability at the bus stop to determine where they're going, what's the latest on the Olympic information and the Paralympic games as well. So really good. Thank you.
Director Narve?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Kim. I'm glad to know that we're preparing for the Olympics, the World Cup, the Super Bowl, because that whole area does need some improvement. As a writer, it's very difficult sometimes to navigate that whole area. You really can't see the letters, or you don't even know you're looking for the letters. And like Ken said, it's hard to find out what shelter has what bus route. So I hope we improve that, because I would also suggest at some point, if there's an opportunity, to actually survey riders, because they're the ones that ride every day. They can give you input. You may benefit from it.
We did this project is like 3 years in the making.
Okay.
So we did a pilot project in front of our Long Beach LBT 1 at Cherry and Anaheim. For about 6 months, we did a pilot project where we put up the different parts of what we were thinking of doing and got feedback from customers. And that enlightened the design that we started with, that we're going to go here. And by now, we hope that the technology is a lot better to put us in a better place with it. We will look at it again on whether we go back out to another customer. I can't promise that, but we did it about 2 years ago.
That's good to know. And my last question is, in your second paragraph under the background heading, the last sentence, there would be an option for the owner's representative to stay on, et cetera, et cetera. Is this the option that's referenced in the recommendation, with the option to extend for construction support services? Is that what you're talking about? Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Hey, good afternoon. To echo what some others have been saying, if you could just keep us involved as this process moves forward, we definitely want to stay engaged, make sure that this is compatible with other city projects that were mentioned, and possibly augment with any other projects that we can do to beautify the area and be ready for the upcoming events as other members.
Any additional discussion? Wait, was it Director Amada or Director Kim? Okay.
Thanks, Madam Chair. Thanks for the presentation. Just echoing now three comments from the board. Would love to get the airport experience, the ridership experience, and the city experience eyes on this again. And I guess my question to you, Mr. CEO, is what would that look like in terms of the process for the board to have another look at this before the concrete hardens, to give recommendations on direction?
Sorry. So the intent is this is gonna help us oversee the design, and then where we go with that design. They're probably, and I don't want to speak because I haven't looked at it. There probably is an opportunity to bring the design back before we start the construction. I would look into that.
Thank you for that answer. I guess I still have a little bit of a clarifying question, like what does that look like in terms of functionality for us as a board to have input on the final design as a board of directors to help this firm that we're considering contracting to oversee the project? Something that feels a little squishy to me, respectfully, but I just wonder, process wise, when can we get eyes on it again before this firm overseeing this on our behalf finalizes the aesthetics?
I hope it didn't come over swishy. What I'm saying, these guys are going to oversee the designers. So the designers are going to come back with some designs for us that we would look to approve. I have not gone through that. So what I promised, I'd look at it and see where in that design we could bring it back to the board that this is where we're thinking of. And that would be a place to get input. No, not.
So that sounds to me that, and no disrespect with the word squishy, I have a master's degree, but I talk like I'm in middle school sometimes. But that sounds to me like a comfortable assurance that we will, through your direction, have another opportunity once these design options have been presented to this firm that we're considering to give our input on what the final choices will be. Is that correct?
That's what, yeah.
Thank you.
That was what I said.
Appreciate that.
Director Amada?
Yeah, my question was for Josh. Had this body seen the pedestrian improvement project? I'm assuming yes, on First Street. Just to have in mind as we look at the future of this project, because I do see a lot of blending from, supporting each other on those projects. So, Josh, had this body seen that?
As far as this project, I don't believe that there's any design.
The pedestrian improvement project on First Street, the same corridor.
Is a city-led project?
Public Works, yes.
Yeah. So the Public Works project, we have not yet presented that project to this board, but that's something that we are looking at doing at a future agenda.
Great. That's it.
Any additional comments? All right, well, this is very exciting. Excited for the collaboration with the city, the convention center as well, to make sure that we're all in unit and having those conversations as we move forward. So now I'll call into a vote.
Chair Mejia,
Aye.
Vice Chair Sun,
Aye.
Secretary Treasurer Enyorbe.
Aye.
Director Almeida, Director Angeles,
Aye.
Director Kemp,
Aye.
Director Rawlings.
Aye.
Great. Motion carries. The recommendation to authorize President and CEO to enter into a contract with the Flow Group into the amount of $120,544 with no option to extend for construction support services for $95,934 with a 10% contingency for $28,849 for a total authorization amount not to exceed $317,337 is approved. Now Karen Kimber will present agenda item 12.
Good afternoon, Chair Mejia, members of the board, Mr. McDonald, and all who are assembled here today. I am Karen Kimber, Regulatory Compliance and Civil Rights Manager. I am here before you this afternoon to provide an overview of Long Beach Transit's 2025 Title VI program for the period of August 1st, 2025 through July 31st, 2028, as required by the U.S. Department of Transportation, Title VI Regulations, 49 CFR Part 21. Why is Long Beach Transit updating its Title VI program? Per U.S. Department of Transportation Title VI Regulations, 49 CFR Part 21, recipients of Federal Transit Administration financial assistance are required to ensure that the level and quality of public transportation is provided in a non-discriminatory manner, promote full and fair participation in public transportation decision-making without regard to race, color, and national origin, ensure meaningful access to transit-related programs and activities by persons with limited English proficiency. Additionally, the FTA requires that all direct and primary recipient document their compliance by submitting a Title VI program to their FTA region civil rights officer once every 3 years. Long Beach Transit's previous Title VI program covering federal fiscal years 2022 through 2025, dated August 2022, will expire on July 31, 2025. Therefore, staff has updated the program to reflect any regulation changes, develop new required policies, and report updated demographic and service monitoring information. Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 protects individuals from discrimination based on race, color, and national origin in programs and activities receiving federal financial assistance. Long Beach Transit is committed to providing quality service, enhancing customer experience, and as a recipient of federal dollars, Long Beach Transit shall not discriminate on the basis of race, color, national origin, or sex. In this context, the term sex is inclusive of gender identity discrimination and sexual orientation discrimination. Long Beach Transit's Title VI program objectives are as follows: to ensure non-discrimination in the implementation of programs and activities, to make customers aware of their rights under Title VI and the Civil Rights Act of 1964 through an updated civil rights complaint form and complaint process, to ensure that services and amenities are equitably distributed throughout Long Beach Transit's service areas, including minority and low-income areas, to monitor and report on Long Beach Transit's service performance standards as they relate to minority and low-income areas, such as on-time performance and service availability, and to ensure that customers have equal access to Long Beach Transit services and amenities. Long Beach Transit's Title VI program includes general reporting requirements in Chapter 2 of the book, such as providing a list of Title VI complaints and a complaint procedure, a public participation plan, a language assistance plan, and service equity policies that cover how major service changes impact minority and low-income populations within the service area. Chapter 3 of the book includes demographic and service area information, such as ethnicity and income characteristics, as well as ridership demographics. Chapter 4 of the Title VI program contains a section pertaining to Long Beach Transit's system-wide performance standards and policies, including headways, on-time performance, service availability, and the distribution of vehicles and amenities. The appendices include documents such as the Civil Rights and Title VI complaint form, Title VI complaints from the reporting period of July 1st, 2022 through March 31st, 2025, the Language Assistance Plan, Public Participation Plan, and Service Equity Policies, demographic reports, on-time performance, transit access analysis, and board reports and resolutions. This slide highlights some of the key components within Long Beach Transit's 2025 Title VI program that were updated. An updated Title VI program was submitted on May 30th, 2025, covering the federal fiscal years 2026 through 2028 for Long Beach Transit service area. Updated information include the Title VI program for federal fiscal year 2026 through 2028, including updated dates, maps, and demographic data for Long Beach Transit service population. The Community Outreach Plan, which increases public participation with Long Beach Transit service area. This plan provides for continued engagements to encourage public input, and the Title VI complaints received during the federal fiscal years 2022 through 2025 as shown in Appendix B of the Title VI program book. In conclusion, staff is requesting the Board of Directors to adopt resolution approving Long Beach Transit's 2025 Title VI program for the period August 1st, 2025 through July 31st, 2028, as required by the U.S. Department of Transportation Title VI Regulations 49 CFR Part 21. This concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Do I hear a motion? With the recommendation? Is there a second? Are there any public comments? Seeing none, is there any further discussion from the board? Director Kemp?
There it is. Thank you, Madam Chair. Just want to say thank you very much, Ms. Kinder, for your concise report. Because when I saw this, thought I was going to need a pillow and a blanket. So I appreciate you walking us through that in such a concise and thorough fashion. Appreciate it.
Any further discussion? Yes, Director Norvay.
Thank you, Karen. To echo Director Kemp, I was prepared you to say page 1, page 2, so thank you. I just have one question on the resolution. There may be typos, or I may have misread it. On the first whereas, the Long Beach Public Transportation Company, comma, is it or is it DBA?
I'm sorry, say
Is it or is it DBA? Like, so it's company, comma, or Long Beach Transit. Is it or should it be DBA?
It should be or.
Okay.
Yes.
And then on the third whereas, you have Long Beach Transit's 2023. Shouldn't it be 2025?
It should be, yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
There we go. Thank you so much for the report. Thanks, Director, for handing that over to me. I was pleased to see the mention of a fair equity analysis for customers with disabilities on one of the pages. And I think it's a pretty important initiative, but I didn't see a timeline for when staff might be providing an update about that initiative to us. Do we have a timeline for seeing some of that information?
When we're going to make some changes to our fares, that's when we would do the analysis. And so there's no estimated time of when we would be adjusting our fares.
Okay, so it would be a component of a larger analysis when that came due. Okay, that makes sense. Thank you.
Okay, go for it, Director Button.
I just have to commend you, being a bureaucrat myself. That is a tremendous effort that you put together here, quite a table thumper. And any FTA bureaucrat will remark about how swell that is when it hits their desk. So congratulations. I know a lot of you probably put in an effort on that, and it shows. Thank you.
Any additional comments from the board? All right, seeing none, we'll call
Chair.
for, oh, yes.
Before we vote, I think I need to make an amended motion that the changes be reflected.
Okay.
So the change from 2023 to 2025 on the resolution itself. And some.
Perfect. All right. We'll call for a vote.
Sorry, we updated the system, so only 2 microphones can be on at a time. Chair Mia,
Aye.
Vice Chair Sutton,
Aye.
Secretary Treasurer Nyorbe,
Aye.
Director Almeida,
Aye.
Director Angeles,
Aye.
Director Kemp, Director Rawlings.
Aye.
Great. The motion carries the recommendation to adopt the resolution approving the Long Beach Transit 2025 program to the period of August 1st through July 31st, 2028 is required by the U.S. Department Title 4 Regulations 49 CFR Part 21 is approved. Thank you. And moving on to
Titles.
Title 6, sorry.
Yes, and there was an amended motion, so that language will be updated in a minute.
Great. And then agenda item 3 will be Elizabeth Brown.
Good afternoon, Chair Mejia, members of the board, Mr. McDonald, and all who are assembled here today. I am Elizabeth Brown, Executive Director, Vice President of Organizational Development and Administration. I am before you today to provide an update on Long Beach Transit's vacant positions by bargaining units in compliance with Assembly Bill 2561, also known as AB 2561. This item is for informational purposes only. Now, I will provide the background on this matter. Effective January 1st, 2025, AB 2561, signed by Governor Newsom on September 22nd, 2024, amends the Myers-Milius-Brown Act to require public agencies to publicly report on vacancies and workforce efforts. To comply, Long Beach Transit must present vacancy data for each bargaining unit at a public board hearing at least once per fiscal year. Identify any policy, procedural, or recruitment barriers during the hearing. Allow each bargaining unit's employee organization the opportunity to present at a public board hearing and provide additional data if 20% or more of a bargaining unit's full-time positions are vacant upon union request. Ideally, this AB 2561 compliance information would have been presented alongside the fiscal year 26 budget. However, because the agency is currently below the 20% vacancy threshold, this update is being addressed separately. Moving forward, AB 2561 updates will be incorporated into the budget presentation. Next, I will provide an overview of the vacancy rates for both the Amalgamated Transit Union, ATU, and the American Federation of State, County, and Municipal Employees, AFSCME, as of June 2nd, 2025. Starting with ATU, we have the following figures. There are 606 LBT positions held by ATU members, composed of 484 operators and 105 maintenance employees, with 17 current vacancies, resulting in a vacancy rate of 2.8%. Moving on to AFSCME, the numbers are as follows. There are 100 LBT positions held by AFSCME members with 1 current vacancy, resulting in a vacancy rate of 1%. While LBT's vacancy rate is low, it's important to highlight the ongoing recruitment efforts that have contributed to this success. Since fiscal year 2022, LBT has faced challenges in recruiting operators. In response, under my leadership, guided by the CEO, LBT began recruiting individuals under the theme Hire for Heart, Train for Excellence, focusing on candidates with strong customer service skills. This approach emphasized selecting candidates who portray the LBT values and customer service skills essential to serve the community, while LBT provides the technical training required to succeed in the role. Key strategies include hiring temporary staff to manage increased application volume, collaborating with retired HR staff and operators to enhance the interview process, offering Class B permit support through LBT Safety Officer, streamlining the application process to reduce the time it takes to complete an application, which previously created delays and barriers in the process. Doubling the frequency of operator training classes to every 4 weeks, and establishing a leadership cross-functional recruitment task force composed of the Deputy CEO, Executive Director, Vice President of Transit Service Delivery, Manager of HR, Manager of Talent Acquisition, Manager of Training and Development, and myself, to strengthen hiring and increase class sizes. These actions reflect LBT's commitment to continuously improving recruitment practices, removing process barriers, and aligning with the intent of AB 2561. Now, I would like to take a moment to formally recognize the talent acquisition team before the board today. Talent acquisition team, would you please stand? Standing is the Manager of Talent Acquisition, Fabiola Robles, with support from her Talent Acquisition Specialist, Jenny Gonzalez, Joxanne Laura, Corey Bonifas, and Priscilla Gonzalez. Their dedication and efforts played a critical role in advancing our hiring strategy and supporting organizational excellence. This concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any discussion from is there any public comment? Right. Is there any discussion from the board?
So before we go into the board, if I can just say something about this, because this was one of the biggest challenges the board remember what a year and a half ago. This was a major challenge for the organization, and Elizabeth with her team really took on the hiring for hard training for excellence to get us to where we are down now to less than 17 positions in the operator ranks and 1 position in AFSCME. So I want to say that this, I know we hear all this stuff about how we are underpaid and what the challenges are. You can see from the hiring that we are doing an excellent job of encouraging people to come into Long Beach Transit by putting out the effort for what it is. We had 2 union negotiations completed, and I think we're on the way to making sure that we have a balanced organization. And I just want to thank the folks who have done that work, the excellent work they've done, going to conferences and getting involved locally for us to have this 1% and 2.8% in terms of vacancies in the organization. So just wanted to thank them publicly for what they've done in less than a year. So thank you very much.
Great, thank you so much. Is there any discussion from the board? Yes.
I was recently on a bus ride, and I just wanted to comment on the fact that I saw that we are hiring signs on the digital boards, and I just want to let you know that that is an effective way to recruit. I mean, it's just you're using the actual bus and you're in the tool and seeing that, and you're gonna go, "Hey, this is so cool! I want to go work for these people." So I think keep that up. In some ways that we can always promote our hiring while anywhere that within the vicinity of the buses, I think is an excellent tactic. So good job, Mike.
Then Director Ken.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to thank you, Ms. Brown, for your excellent and professional presentation. Like all of our staff, you did a wonderful job, and I think it's also a good reflection of leadership to acknowledge your team. I think good leaders, take the credit and share the blame, or no, share the blame and take the credit. I see I'm not a good leader, but it's just wonderful that we got a chance to see the people who are helping to make our organization great through the things you reported on. So thank you all for what you've done.
Any other question? All right, thank you so much, Elizabeth, for your presentation. And now we're gonna move on to agenda item 14. Ask Me AB 2561 presentation by Louis Smith.
Are we on? Good afternoon, Chairwoman Mejia, members of the board, CEO McDonald, nice seeing you again. My name is Louis Schmidt. I'm the representative for AFSCME Local 3620. This bill is a bill that we sponsored. This is a bill that was important for AFSCME. So last year we lobbied Sacramento, we lobbied our elected officials because we saw that many public agencies in California were not filling their vacancies adequately, keeping vacancies open, putting more work on staff, and then ultimately it took, this effort to be able to have public agencies come to the board, report and have transparency on both sides. And so I thank Ms. Brown for the presentation she just made. Those numbers are only for 2025 going forward, right? It's only for that short period since this new legislation started. What will be important is to see what those numbers look like next year. So let's go through this. Again, is this going to be on its own or do I have to push something? Okay, go to the next one, please. So again, Ms. Brown already provided the vacancy numbers, and I have to give the agency credit because even though it's only a short period that we're reporting, this is one of the lowest ones that I've seen. I've had other agencies where we just had one in the city of Compton, and theirs was over 28% just in a short period of time. So they're having their struggles over there too. But again, we can move to the next slide, please. Part of this legislation also is to what are public agencies doing to retain and attract. I'll give her team the credit on what you stated about trying to make the recruitment process a little bit more fluid or streamlined. That's good. But I really didn't hear anything in the presentation about retention, right? Retention. Part of retention is you have to make it competitive. You have to make I know Mr. McDonald complained, or earlier you made a statement about you don't want to hear about the wages and salaries being low, but ultimately we have to look at that. Part of being competitive is saying, where are we at? We saw many proposals, presentations today where different directors are asking for approval for different budgets, for different items, different expenditures. One of the items that the board can take is to actually do a class and comp study, right? Now, back in 2020 or 2021, one was done, but it was for the unrepresented classifications. All the classifications that were unrepresented were studied, and that includes the executives here, whose compensation is competitive. But if you look at, you did a study that would give the board a clear, transparent review of where you guys are at compared to other public agencies. You want to retain and attract employees? Let's talk about pension security and pension retirement security. Many of you are public employees yourself, and you get to enjoy the comfort, the reliability of having a retirement security when you retire. Unfortunately, many years ago, before Mr. McDonald came here, that dream was stolen from employees. That was removed. The employees aren't represented, and it was removed. Mr. McDonald has made the comment prior that, oh, we have a pension here, but you don't have a pension. A 401, 457 is not a pension. That is the employee's own money. The company does contribute a portion to that program for some employees, for some new hires. But again, that is not pension security and pension. At the end of the day, your workers, your workforce. In one of the presentations, they talked about, in the video, the gentleman talked about the spending power and the employees putting back money into the economy here too. The employees can't afford to live in Long Beach. Long Beach is very expensive. We all know that, right? But I believe that by doing an analysis of where the company is at compared to other agencies, you will see. Now, it's not fair to say you have to be like Metro, because we know Metro has different funding source and they're a much bigger partner. Mr. Sutton, I think you still work there, correct? You do. But again, we can be competitive with other agencies, other like agencies and other agencies that provide public transportation services. Next slide, please. Again, we talked about retaining new employees. In talking to our supervisors who supervise some of the mechanics, they said over the last 3 or 4 years, they've had a 50% turnover in mechanics. Part of that is not being competitive, not having a competitive edge here. And so, again, next year when Ms. Brown gives this presentation, we really need to look back at some of these areas. Next slide, please. And if you could just blow this up a little bit bigger. This is just one example on the salary comparison. This is for the supervisors, for one of the supervisor classifications. And as you can see, Long Beach Transit is rated one of the lowest. And that's even removing, most other agencies will tell you that, total comp includes the pension. But here, even without the pension, you're still very, very low. Now, again, this is just the data that we put together. Don't rely on my data. Don't rely on what we're telling you. Do your own research, do your own presentation, have that brought back to the board. Again, it doesn't take a lot of the programs that were presented today cost in the millions, even for the services to maintenance and to maintain this building by Colliers, what, 1 point something million? Class and comp studies are being done. Even the city of Compton is doing a class and comp study. Yes, they cost a couple $100,000, but again, as a board, you want to be able to see, like, are we really being the best? Retention and retaining employees. Earlier, there was a reference to Juneteenth. This agency doesn't. From the public's point of view, during Juneteenth, the LBT put out holiday schedule, but there is no holiday for the employees and the staff. They still work. So again, that's something that we haven't been able to cross that hurdle in negotiations. But again, it takes leadership on behalf of the board to see the value in that, what that day means to the community. Next slide, please. Again, this is just another slide about what can be done to make those, make some positive changes. And again, this is a good employer. I'm not here to knock the employer. But again, we have to look at opportunities where we can do better. We can always improve, right? As staff, we can always improve. We can always do better. We're always challenging our staff to do better. But here I challenge you, the board, to perform a study. Do a committee. Make a committee. Study those facts. To study what you can do internally. Even if you evaluate the pension, study that. Again, you've invested in the community, and that's great. You've invested in the ridership, that's great. And Mr. McDonald will tell you that they've invested in employees for negotiations, but that is not enough. It's going to take a little bit more, because we want to make this not a revolving door. We want employees to stay here. We have some employees who commute several hours just to get to work. So again, I thank you. And again, this was an important bill that we passed, and we thank the governor for doing that. But hopefully next year we will see, and we'll continue to monitor what the board does. But again, my ask today is for the board to continue to give Ms. Brown and her team the resources and the tools that they need to continue to make LBT more competitive and retain and attract talented staff. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Luis. Are there any public comments? Oh.
Hi, I'm James. I'm a devoted 18-year legacy employee at Long Beach Transit. With regard to retention of Long Beach Transit rank and file employees, the question needs to be asked, does Long Beach Transit want to have a long-term retention plan for rank and file employees in the first place? If you ask directors and managers, the answer would be yes, but somewhere above them, there is a disconnect. Long Beach Transit Actions does not support that goal, but how do we know? Last time I was here, probably more than a year ago, I brought a Metro Academy bump cap to illustrate what is going on in the maintenance side of the company. Also, someone from the ELT supposed that a committee would be formed to explore what needs to be done to increase retention. I did not ever hear that if any rank and file employees were invited to participate in the committee. By now, I would have hoped that the results of the committee would have been posted for yours and our examination. Another time I was here, I also suggested a KPI retention matrix made about the churn and turnover rate and retention rates of Long Beach Transit over the last 5 years compared to the previous 5 years, and perhaps going back further. This would be a powerful tool to see what is actually happening at Long Beach Transit in regard to retention. What are the benefits what are the benefits that short-term and even legacy employees are leaving Long Beach Transit for that could be considered to retain the rank and file employees? Pension plans, retirement, health care, CalPERS benefit package, alternate schedules. My current suggestion to the board would issue a directive to conduct and publish a salary survey to find out where Long Beach Transit really stands. This would be a natural first step to recognize the issue, something Long Beach Transit is reluctant to fully acknowledge, let alone wants to do. The ASME union has been requesting a salary survey be done for the better part of the decade. This would start the process of putting in place real actions that keep employees here instead of letting other agencies poach our team members away with compensation packages that we cannot compete with. There's no need to wait for contract negotiations for a salary survey or offers to be increased compensation, to increase retention at Long Beach Transit. The benefits of retention are improved customer service, knowledge transfer and mentorship, reduction in accident rates, reduction in risk of errors, reduction in hiring costs, reduction in training costs, increased production, reduced maintenance costs, reduced mean time between failures, trust in decision-making, improve.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, members of the board, Madam Chairman, Long Beach Transit employees. Thank you for giving me the time to speak. My name is Ignacio Pimental. I am the Vice President of Local 3620, and I'm very proud to represent all of our supervisors, our facility techs, our stop and zone employees, customer service agents. We represent a great working force for Long Beach Transit. One of the things, and I have a lot of stuff written here, but I'm just going to speak from the heart. I see a lot of stuff being presented here about projects, about improvement, and it's great stuff. And 31 years I've been here, we're at that point now where we're going into the future with the technology and the software to improve service, quality, and enhance security for our customers, our community, and for our employees. But it takes ASME members, it takes supervisors, it takes facility techs, it takes the stops and zones people to go out there and clean the bus shelters every day, supervisors that lead their department to be successful. in order to achieve the goals that Long Beach Transit wants to do. Without a salary survey, our concern at AFSCME, especially at 3620, is that we're going to lose the talent that Long Beach Transit has already invested into its employees. Not only that, but but miss the opportunity to get new talent that they want to be successful. So I asked the members of the board to direct Long Beach Transit to conduct a survey study and to commit to improving the lives of our members and to be able to obtain future talent. Thank you very much.
Great, thank you. Is there any other public comment? All right, seeing none, discussion from the board? No. Well, I want to thank our unions that are here and for sharing your input. This is critical input. I think we're going to take this back. We'll have discussions to see what we can do. We hear you. We're committed to our employees, so we'll follow up with further next steps. Definitely do appreciate it. Anything else? Oh,
Thank you, Chair. I also just want to acknowledge the union reps that are here today and their presentations. I, for one, appreciate your role in advocating for the employees. And like the chair said, we look forward to working with you as we move forward in the framework of this act that we're talking about. So thank you.
great. Do have to go because I have to go to work, but Vice Chair, I know, other work. So I'm gonna step out and David will take it from here.
Are there any other comments from the board? All right, hearing none, we'll move on to item 16.
We'll come in again. No, 15, public comment.
Oh, 15? Oh, there's
Yes.
more public comment. There's
There's
public
another
comment on public comment. All right.
Yes.
Is there any public comment? Just what I thought. All right. Okay, so in absence of public comment, we'll move on to 16, correct? Right? All right, board requests.
Mr. Chair, I
Chair,
think there
I'm sorry.
was,
Chair, I think we have,
Oh, we have one more public comment.
yes.
Okay, just going back to item 9 with the architect engineering design for the electric at LBT 1. And maybe I missed it during the presentation, but does that 30% design cover the power only or the power maintenance infrastructure modifications and upgrade? And then regarding item 13, Assembly Bill 2561, can there be a vacancy rate matrix by position established? Like for how many positions are open for drivers, for mechanics, for utilities? That would be a great help for us to even examine. Specifically for the mechanics position, because that is a hard position to keep right now. I see it struggle every day, and I see the maintenance department, they do the best job that they can, but there's issues regarding retaining maintenance mechanics specifically. And a recent Ask Me hire was told that there is a pension plan in place. When he got hired, that's what he was told. After I talked with him, I said, no, that's not a pension plan. It's some kind of a 401k vehicle. I'm grandfathered into the original pension plan, but from what I understand, he was told that there is an existing pension plan, but that doesn't seem to be what the actuality is.
Thank you for your comments. If you would like to share those questions with Jen over here, board secretary, we'll have staff answer those questions for you. But it's not appropriate for us to answer those questions during these proceedings. Okay, thank you. All right, are we at 16 now?
Yes.
Board requests. Are there any board requests? Hearing none, we'll move on to adjournment. So the next regular meeting will be held on July 24th, 2025. Do I hear a motion to approve that date?
So move.
Thank you.
Second.
Awesome. All right. So let's call for the vote on that.
Chair Mejia, Vice Chair Sutton,
Here.
Secretary,
Aye.
Secretary Treasurer Nierve,
Aye.
Director Almeida,
Aye.
Director Angeles,
Aye.
Director Kemp,
Aye.
Director Rawlings.
Aye.
Chair Mejia has been excused.
Great. Okay, the motion carries. The meeting is now adjourned. The next regular meeting will be held on July 24th, 2025.